You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning edition of Ask the Master Auto Technician. I have one of my sponsors, Hansson from Baytown Tires. He has forgotten more about tires than I will probably ever know. Hansson, you go to school. How many times a year do you say you go to tire school? 2?
Oh, I try to go probably at least every quarter.
Okay.
So quarter in my poor math knowledge would be 4 times a year.
Well, it's in our industry, in my industry, we have to go to school constantly. In your industry with tires as well. The technology keeps changing. I mean, what we used to do 15, 20 years ago in repairing cars, we can't get away with anymore. We can't fix cars like that. You know, parts are very expensive. You just can't start throwing parts on a car to fix them. So it's the same thing with tires. You don't want to buy tires that are outdated, that are noisy, that don't handle well, that don't give the customer their value. So tell me about the tires. What's changed in tires in, say, the last 10 to 15 years that just come right off the top of your head that has made people get more bang for their buck and when they purchase tires?
Well, people go, tire prices have gone up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But, 20, 30 years ago, if you got 20 or 30,000 miles out of a tire,
you were lucky.
You've done really well.
Yeah.
Now, gosh, 80, 90,000 miles is pretty much average. Even for heavy truck tires, they've
really?
done very well. And,
wow.
60, 70,000 miles where, like I said, even 10 years ago, 30 to 40 was the standard.
What's made the difference? Is it the rubber compound? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the rubber compound has become more refined. Mm-hmm. Competition is very strong in our field. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
The Chinese, all of the Asian countries are making tires. And where 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't want to buy one of their tires.
No.
Nowadays, they're leaders.
They are
in their industry. I look at the Chinese market alone; they're the number one car selling market in the world.
Oh.
So OE tires alone, rank up between 18 and 20 million.
Now that China is, are you telling me China produces more cars per year?
Buys more cars per year than any other country in the world.
Okay, so they don't produce them; they just buy more cars. That's what.
Correct.
Okay.
There's a caveat to that too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cars that are bought in China are partially made in China, at least 80% of it. Otherwise,
okay.
they won't get tax credit.
Oh, okay. So same thing with the tires, I bet. I mean, the tires are made in China, and they're putting on the cars as well. So more tires are being imported in China, so they're buying 18 to 20 million cars a year are coming in, and that means multiply that by 4, and that's how many, or maybe 5, because there's 5.
Well, 5, yeah.
Yeah, 5. On most cars, and for the spare tire, and that adds up quite a bit. In America, how many cars a year do we produce in America? Do you have any idea? I have no idea.
I think I don't know about produce, but purchase-wise, we do between 12 and 15 million.
Wow. Okay, so that's a significant difference between China and America as far as the purchasing of tires and cars. So they're purchasing 18 to 20. We're producing or purchasing around 15 to 16 million.
That's probably about right.
Okay, so there's a big market out there, so there's a lot of competition out there, and competition does breed success. In our industry, you're in our industry, have you noticed that in the last 10, 15 years that there's less businesses opening up in our field? It used to be when an auto repair shop closed down, a week later another shop opened the doors, put another sign on it, and they were open for business again. We're not seeing that like we used to, do we?
Well, I think less people are going into the trade.
That's true.
And, of course, governmental restrictions, make it more difficult to start your own business. I mean, you can still do it. You just have to have more money in your pocket to start out.
Oh, isn't that the truth? When you opened up your business 22 years ago, do you remember what you had to do to put up Baytown tires? I mean, what did you have to...
You have to get a motor vehicle, repair facility registration for the state of Florida.
Right.
And then you had to get a city business license.
Right.
And that's about it.
And that was it. Do you know now that Bay County is #1 in the state? Of 67 counties, it costs more to open up a small business than any of the other 66 counties in the state. It's $4,000 to open up a small business in Bay County, according to the statistics provided by the Department of Revenue, which I was shocked, in the Census Bureau, versus all the other counties. I think the closest county in purchasing to open up a business was St. John or what was it, Anna Marie? Miami-Dade, less than $1,000. So
wow, in Miami, really,
Miami-Dade,
such a much bigger market.
That's
too.
what I'm talking about. I mean, these are, we're not talking. Someone told me the other day, well, it is Pay County. I said, you mean Bay County? He said, no, it's Pay County. If you want to open a business up, you're going to have to pay. And I said, well, when I opened my business up 36 years ago, all I did was walk in here, put a sign up. I had $5 in my pocket. I didn't even buy an occupational license for a month because I was in the county. No one came around. No one looked at me. I wanted to make sure I keep my doors open.
Well, and even competitiveness-wise, in the city of Panama City, you have to pay a half-cent sales tax.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like a lot.
But it adds
But
up.
if you're purchasing, an expensive set of tires, or you're putting an engine in a car, that half-cent sales tax adds up at the end of the bill when you come and pick your car up. So you might decide you want to go to Lynn Haven or somewhere out in the county in Millville or something like that, where you don't have to pay that half-cent sales tax.
It costs a lot. Now we got the half-cent sales tax that's going to be on the ballot in November, and the citizens get to vote on it whether they want it or not. That half-cent sales tax is supposed to be used for infrastructure only. It's supposed to be used for stormwater runoff, sewage, piping, water lines, paving of roads, all these things. Things that you would think would already be in our budget to do, but we don't seem to do that. I don't know why. I'm just a...
Well, and I'm not angry about it. Where we are, the infrastructure is some of the oldest in the county because St. Andrews has just been around for a long time.
Yes, it has.
There have been a lot of issues with water and things like that. And basically, a lot of times, I wind up paying out of pocket just to get it done.
Oh, tell me about it, yes.
They say, well, it's not part of our jurisdiction and that, and I need water. So,
you don't have much choice. You really
don't have much choice.
You don't have much choice. I understand what you're saying about that because it is the older sections of town or the older parts of the county need these taken care of. We were talking to Scott Hobbs the other day, and he's telling me some houses that go from the house to the street use terracotta piping for their drain.
That's right.
And some of them use what they call orange paper, is what he called it, which is nothing more than tar paper, encapsulated piping from World War II, and they're still out there, if you can believe that. I'm sitting there going, really? And he said, yeah, that's from older houses still out there. You can find it in the coves. There's a few places like that still, but things are changing where people, when they have problems, they have to go in there and have them relined or repaired or whatever. But there's a lot of older pipes in this town need to be done, but we also got a lot of parts of the county that don't have any water or any sewer going to them at all. So, even if you pave the roads up there, if you don't put down the sewer lines and the water lines, you're going to have to rip the roads back up again. So hopefully our county leaders will allow for the infrastructure piping to go down first and then pave them. But as you and I both know over the years, it seems like when they're going to widen a road is because they go out there and put brand new sidewalks in, and 6 months later they rip the sidewalks up and put it in a brand new road. It seems to be one of the things I've noticed.
That's usually what happens. That, or they spend, you're absolutely right, or they improve the grass and spend thousands and tens of thousands of putting sod down,
right.
And then, like you said, 6 months later they come on and tear it all up.
Rip it up. And it's kind of like, wow, does the right hand know what the left hand's doing, or does the right hand even care what the left hand's doing? Sometimes it just seems like they're jobs generated.
I would never be negative. I want the infrastructures to look good.
Right.
I want it to be nice for the visitors that come here. But we also need to protect, our dollars as taxpayers.
Absolutely. It does seem to be amazing that, over the years that, one of the things, if we were leading the county and leading the state and what it costs to open up a business at $4,000, and the next closest county is around $1,000 to do that, is that a sin tax for opening up a business? I know they put sin tax on alcohol and tobacco where people won't buy them because they make them higher price, but are they doing that unintentionally to businesses to keeping them from opening up?
Well, I think so. And unfortunately, the environment in America in general has become less small business oriented. The mom and pop stores that used to be the backbones of our community
Gone.
are no longer there.
And they're being destroyed on a systematic basis. We see it every day. Mom and pops get old, they retire, the kids don't want it, they sell out to big corporations. And, give an example, I think on Walmart on the beach opened up a liquor store. Well, there was 2 private liquor stores within a 6-block area of Walmart. They closed down because they couldn't keep up. They were not competitive anymore. So those 2 mom and pop businesses are gone. So, and they employed probably 10 people, just off the top of my head. Well, Walmart has closed those businesses down, so now those businesses no longer are in business, and that is a thing that I see happening every day in our industry. People, they did a survey. When you think of car service, who do you think of? And I think Walmart came out number 1 because people think that service is oil changes.
But luckily enough is that even Walmart has realized that there's really no money in tires in my industry. So they'd rather open up a liquor store. If you look at the new ones, I'm serious.
Yeah, you're right.
They'd rather sell liquor than they would tires and do oil changes.
You're right.
On part of it, that's it's too bad for the liquor stores, but it's okay for us. They have not opened a new super Walmart center with a tire center in it in the last 5 years.
Really? They realize.
So because they go, making $10 and having a large amount of liability is really not that interesting. I'd rather sell, I don't know, some Trump vodka or something like that, and make $15 on that bottle.
Hey, I got a feeling when they legalize medicinal marijuana, you're going to see the pharmacies at Walmart be leading the charge.
Oh gosh, I couldn't. They probably will tell you that they're against it right now, but as soon as they can make a profit on it, I'm sure they'll pick it up right away.
And there's nothing wrong with making a profit. No, don't get me wrong. I enjoy making a profit. It's because of profit we're able to contribute to our communities and to organizations and help our children out.
Well, the stats still stand though. If you do business with a local business, almost 60. I think this number is 68% of the money, that dollar that you spent, stays within that particular county.
Correct.
While only about 30 to 40 cents on the dollar stay in the county if you purchase from a global giant like Walmart.
And someone told me the other day it was even less than that. And I don't know the numbers, but the only thing I know is I think that small businesses, and I'm not trying to put protectionism on here. I'm not trying to say we need to have tariffs but we need to recognize corporatism for what it is. And that's the hard part, is when you make that choice with your dollar, where you're buying your product, you're making a choice towards the future of your children and the future of yourself. Where do you want businesses to be in the next few years? Do you want to have personal businesses that take care of you and know you by name, or are you happy with that being just an anonymous number?
They talk about reviving downtown Panama City all the time. Mm-hmm. They're not going to build a Walmart down there, so we need to encourage smaller businesses to move down there. And if it's $4,000 to open it up, then they won't be able to afford to move down.
No, $4,000 goes a long way. I mean, that's what it costs to replace the transmission. Well, they didn't cover that anymore. But point is, it's a big major expense. Most people couldn't pay $4,000 to get their car repaired. And especially imagine if you had to open a business up, that $4,000 could go a long way. I'd like to see us be more. I know Bay County is a fee-based. Our government's fee-based, and that's how we get everything we want. But we've got to get some sort of sanity to encourage businesses to open up. That's what from the bottom up. Right now, it seems like everybody wants it from the top down. The government's going to give us these jobs. We're going to give these engineering jobs to this or this group over here, build roads and everything. And yeah, they make jobs, but that's tax money jobs that's going to it. And they don't stay. They go away. They move to another county.
We always have to remember that the government doesn't create any money at all. Actually, that's not true. They do print it. But they don't create any money. The only money that they have is our money. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't create anything new. As a business owner, you are creating jobs and you are creating actual investment in the community itself, hopefully long term. Hopefully
long term is right. On that note, I got to go. We've been on too long. But government produces money the same way ticks produce blood.
That's right, exactly.
All right, you be good. I'll talk to you later.
Have a great week. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye now.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guarantee. Beep, 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 yeah.